Welcome to Trimming Musical Fat, the podcast where we trim albums that are too damn long. I'm Stephen Nicholson, and I'm joined by friends Bryan, Jamie and Paul for this Oasis theme pod. So we've recently recorded a few shows dedicated to the band's 21st century output, so today it's a relatively simple task. We're going to rank Oasis's 7 studio albums in order of preference. So to do it, we're actually just going to go through each album in chronological order from release date, and each of us will just give our thoughts on the album and where we would place it in our top 7. So we start with the classic debut, Definitely Maybe, and I'll maybe just do this in order. So Jamie, Bryan, Paul, and then myself. So Jamie, where would you place Definitely Maybe, and what do you think of it?
Possibly the best album of all time. In my opinion, certainly the best debut album of all time. I'm torn between it and What's the Story for number one. I'm going to go with number one for Definitely Maybe.
I always remember you buying this album. I'd never really heard the Oasis at the time. I think we were in Dublin at the time for the weekend. You were playing it. I remember I was like, who's that? I wasn't overly keen on it at the first, I must admit. But as I've come to grow into an Oasis fan, it is a classic, but it would be number 2 for me.
Yeah, I think it, Definitely Maybe is one of the most listened to albums, certainly when I was kicking about back in '94. Just remember the singles of it as well and the B-sides and stuff. It was just such a great moment, and obviously there sort of battles with blood and stuff at the time. But I'm also going to place it as number 2.
Yeah, because it's hard to kind of, I think, both this album and Morning Glory to think of the albums in isolation, because you had the singles and all these great B-sides that were on these non-album tracks as well, which were fantastic. So you kind of include all that as part of that when you're thinking back. But I would put Definitely Maybe at number 1 for me. As Bryan says, it was my introduction to the band and a bit of a game changer in terms of the music I was listening to at the time. Great songs, unvarnished production, great melodies, attitude. I think at this point the band are unspoiled by fame and expectation. And yeah, one of the greatest albums of all time and one of my all-time favourites. So that's Definitely Maybe. The next up is What's the Story, Morning Glory. So Jamie, I'm guessing you've got this at number 1.
Number 2 for me, I'd Definitely Maybe number
Yeah,
one.
Definitely Maybe at number 1. Yeah, sorry, yeah.
I could easily swap them around. So What's the Story for me was probably my first proper introduction to Oasis. It was 8 or 9 when it came out, and so I had kind of missed Definitely Maybe Wave. So for a long, long time, this was my favourite album. I call them my favourite songs all time are on it. Champagne Supernova being one of them. And it's only really more recently that I've got into Definitely Maybe, and it's maybe just pitching it. So yeah, for me, I'd say What's the Story. I'd put in at number 2, but if I can have joint one, I'll do that.
This would be my number 1, I would say. This is like the Pinnacle album for Oasis. I think it's just a classic album. Every song's brilliant on it. Yeah, that would be my number 1.
Yeah, it's my number 1 as well. Just such a great album. Every track in it's brilliant. Starts with Hello, finishes with Champagne Supernova. So I think if you compare, like, Definitely Maybe is obviously a great album as well, but I think that I listen to What's the Story a lot more than Definitely Maybe, so it gets my vote for number 1.
Okay, I would put this at number 2, and I think over familiarity has perhaps dulled my liking of it a little, but yeah, it's undeniably a classic, and it was just everywhere in the mid-90s, so listening to it now is like stepping into a time machine. It just takes you back, and it's got Don't Look Back on Anger, which is in my top 3 Oasis songs of all time. Okay, that brings us then to Be Here Now, the much maligned Be Here Now, unfairly so, I say. And Jamie, where would you put Be Here Now?
Yeah, it gets a bad rap for some reason. Be Here Now. I really like it. I think it probably gets the criticism it gets because it came on the back of Definitely Maybe and What's the Story. I think when you listen to it in isolation, there's some good tunes on there. Stand By Me, I Hope I Think I Know, All Around the World. They're all good songs. So I'd have this at number 3.
Well, this is the first Oasis album I bought, actually, Be Here Now. So this was like my introduction to Oasis. I love it. I think it's a great album. It was only after that then I bought Morning Glory and then realised how good that was. But yeah, it would be number 3 for me for that as well.
So I agree with what's been said so far. I think because there was such high expectations for that album after the first two. I don't think it quite reached that height, but if they'd just kept all those B-sides together and stuck with me in the third album, it would have been a different story. Yeah, it's a good album. It's got some really good tracks in it as well, but I do think it's underrated. But I'm going to put it as number 4. I think there's an album that like a little bit more than that, so I've got another album for 3.
I'm with you, Paul. This is my number 4. Yeah, I think it's unfairly maligned. Was it disappointing on release? Yes, as it's not as good as definitely maybe in Morning Glory. But just because it's disappointing does not mean that it's bad. I mean, I think it has its faults. I think the song length, too many songs, the production's maybe a bit overblown. But if you strip away that and peek underneath, I think Jamie said it. There's some top level Oasis songs on there, and I think the 3 that I would have mentioned are the same ones you said, Jamie. So yeah, it's a really, really good album. Which then we jump forward from Be Here Now in 1997 to Standing on the Shoulder of Giants in 2000. So where are you going to place that one, Jamie?
I really like Standing on the Shoulders. It's funny because some people will have it in the bracket of Heathen Chemistry, Double the Truth and so on, and others will have it as part of that more classic era of the kind of early albums. I kind of see it as one of the almost a classic 4. I really like it. I mean, Fucking in the Bushes could fit on any of the albums. I think it's absolutely brilliant. And I remember the first time I saw Oasis live, Murrayfield 2000, Molly Millions tour. I think Standing on the Shoulders was kind of linked to that tour. So I always think of this album as, or I think of it fondly. And a lot of the songs, obviously, there's some nonsense on there, such as Little James, but I think there are some good tunes on there too. So I would have this at number 4.
I like this album as well. It's a good album. Some decent songs on there. Some alright songs on it and stuff. But it's good enough. But I would put it at number 5.
Number 5 for you. And Paul, where's it hitting the mark for you?
Yeah, I've got a number 5 as well. Yeah, I really liked Standing on the Shoulders. I think by that point, I think some people had kind of lost interest, but I was at that point still waiting for their albums and stuff coming out. Fucking in the Bushes is a brilliant song. Such a great sort of live song as well for the band to come out. There was a mention of no song, or there's 2 songs in that album that I really like, Sunday Morning Call and Where Did It All Go Wrong? Those are 2 of my favourite no songs. So yeah, there's a couple of sort of album filler in there as well. But yeah, it's a good album. I like it.
I put it at number 3 for me. I'm really a big fan of this album. I think it's got a great feel and sound, and it was something different for the band back in the day. And again, it's got that Abbey Road organ and the Mellotron all over it. And yeah, I love Sunday Morning Call, one of my favourite Oasis songs, and that is on it. Okay, so we'll leave Standing on the Shoulder of Giants in 2000, and we go forward to 2002 and Heathen Chemistry. What say you about it, Jamie?
I like Heathen Chemistry. I think there are some good songs on there. I think the band took a little bit of a different turn with songs like Stop Crying Your Heart Out, Songbird, obviously. Liam kind of going into the songwriting a bit more as well. I like it. I'd probably have it, say 5. I'm conscious that I've kind of done every album in chronological order, which isn't intentional. But yeah, I quite like Heathen Chemistry.
It's got some good songs. I really like the Hindu Times, Stop Crying Your Heart Out. But I would have it at number 6, I would say.
6. Okay. And Paul?
Yeah, I've got number 6 as well. Again, some good tunes on it. Hindu Time stands out for me as well, like Songbird. So yeah, it wasn't a bad album. There was a few sort of, songs that we've already mentioned before, but I think between that and I think it's better than Dig Out Your Soul. But I think compared to other ones, I think it's down the bottom end of the list. So yeah, I agree with the 6.
Yeah, I would also put it at 6. And for me, it's a bit of a strange album because there is a lot to like on here. As you guys have mentioned, Songbird, Hindu Times is one of my favourite Oasis tracks. I like Better Man, Stop Crying Your Heart Out. But these days, I would never choose to listen to it. I don't know if it's maybe the overall vibe is off for me. I don't know if the parts are maybe better than the whole. I just don't know why. It just never really clicked for me. Hence, it's at number 6. Okay, so 2002, we go to 2005 and Don't Believe the Truth. Jamie, where are you going to place that one?
I'll stick with the theme and place it at number 6. I think it gets off to a good start. I like Turn Up the Sun. I like Lila. I quite like Mucky Fingers as well, actually. So that's kind of first part of the record's decent enough, but then it tails off. There's some songs on there that I just not particularly keen on, so I'll put it at number 6.
I like Don't Believe the Truth. I love Turn Up the Sun. I think that's a brilliant song to start the album. Mucky Fingers is good. The Importance of Being Idle, it's good. Some good songs in that, so that would be my number 4 for this one.
So it's my number 3. I really, really like this album. Turn Up the Sun's a great song. Delilah, Meaning of Soul. One song that I don't know if it's been mentioned, another Game Archer one, Keep the Dream Alive. I really like that one as well. Maybe slightly controversial choice there. But yeah, I think if you think about albums that you kind of listen to, I think Don't Believe the Truth's one that I revisit. There's plenty of good songs on it, so it's very listenable. So yeah, it sneaks into my number 3.
Thank you. I have it at number 5, and I probably liked this album more when it first came out. Not such a big fan of it as much anymore. It's a good set of songs, but for me, maybe it just doesn't feel particularly inspired. However, The Importance of Being Idle and Let There Be Love are absolutely immense. But unfortunately for me, it contains Lila, which I just can't stand. So I just never liked that song at all, which was a real problem since it was the first single off the album. They've been away for 3 years, and you're like, ugh. Anyway, let's move on to the band's final album as at this time, and is 2008's Dig Out Your Soul. And I'm getting the feeling this isn't going to score particularly highly, but Jamie, where are you placing this album?
7 for me, bottom of the pile. I mean, there are some big riffs on it. Though musically, there is some decent compositions in there, but it's forced. I think it was released at a time when the band probably weren't getting on great. So yeah, number 7 for me.
Okay, Bri, is it number 7 for you?
Yep, number 7 for me as well. Although there's some good songs like Shock of the Lightning. I love that. That's a brilliant song. As you say, the first 4, like Bag It Up, The Turn-In, Waiting for Rapture, they're good songs, but then after that, it just goes right downhill. And after that, it's hard to pick a decent song. So yeah, it would be number 7.
Okay, so that's 2 number 7s for Dig Out Your Soul. Are you making it a hat-trick, Paul?
Certainly am, yeah. I'd agree with Jamie and Bryan saying about it. I like The Turn-In. That's a really good song that you don't hear much about. Shock of the Lightning is a really good song as well, but it does take a nosedive after that. So yeah, I don't think there's any argument for me that that's at the bottom of the pile.
Yep, and no argument from me either. Number 7 for me, bottom of the pile. And yeah, I agree with what you guys have said. Enjoyable first half, Bag It Up, The Shock of the Lightning, I'm Out of Time. Just let down by the second half, where the quality goes off a cliff. And I don't think you're going to find many people hoping that the likes of Nature, of Reality, or Soldier On are on the reunion set list in the summer, are they? I think they would be very brave to add them to the set list. Yeah, we're going to finish the reunion concerts with Soldier On. Really? Yeah. Jamie's away already by that point. It's after 9, so he wouldn't know. His friends will be telling him what the final songs were. Yeah. Okay, well, there we are. That is our ranking. So we ain't got nothing more to say. So thanks to Bryan, Jamie, and Paul for joining me, and thanks to you for listening. So come back next week for another episode of Trimming Musical Fat. Until then, keep trimming.
Trimming the Musical Fat podcast is a Stephen and Paul Nicholson production. We'd love to hear from you. You'll find our contact details in the episode description. Want more TTMF? Head to our socials. Join our Facebook group. Follow us on TikTok. Subscribe to us on YouTube, and check out our website at trimmingthemusicalfat.com.